Start. So, welcome to the new PowerLab webinar talking about what's new in LinkedIn. I called it LinkedIn's latest leverage to keep on my 3 times the same letter, which I like a lot. So for those who joined here and don't know me yet, my name is Gunnar, and I would like to guide you through what I have for today. And as usual, we would like to do it more interactive so that we can also show around your opinion, what you would like to talk about that. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Gunnar. I work in social media, social selling blogger. I wrote a couple of books and created 3 online courses. So, the rules, as usual, use the chat room wherever it's possible. That would be quite nice. And I would like to make it interactive. The purpose for today in particular is to look in what is new. So, first of all, happy birthday. LinkedIn turned 18. That's great. Many of us are on the platform already for quite a while. So 18 years ago, I joined Xing. That used to be called OpenBC, and that is the German equivalent of LinkedIn, which is older, quite popular over there, but never made it into what LinkedIn is all today. So I joined LinkedIn only in 2008, Facebook in 2007, but now I made it my corporate inside business. So that's good. I would like to look into new features when it comes to branding, new formats for content, and newish functions on messaging. All of what I'm showing is new from the year 2020 or 2021. Many of you might not know it yet. And there's only one function in messaging which is older, but still many don't use it. That gives together 3 times 5, which is 15 slides full of content. As usual, the slides are available for download at the end on linkedinpowerlab.com, and there will be an email for all registered participants tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., 12 hours afterwards. So, and now get started, in particular when it comes to adding some kind of replies from your side. Quick question. When did you update your LinkedIn About section the last time? That's the one that used to be called Summary. So I'll write in the chat as well. When did you update your LinkedIn About section the last time? 6 months ago, Con? Yeah, good. That at least is good. For me, it's 1 year ago. I should change it. Anyone else? When did you update it last time? But there are good reasons that you can rework on your profile, rework on quite a lot of things. And I will share this with you. So let's look further what we have for this one. Just now, Margaret. Yeah, good one. I mean, you had some changes, so it's good to reflect that. So 5 topics in general about the profile, your personal brand. And let's start with something which is completely new, maybe a couple of weeks only. You might have seen that some people have not only a word or a title or function or anything particular in the name fields, like Con, you have there the social selling warrior in it, in your name. Some people, and I had it as well in the past, I wrote something there like CMGR, which is a chartered manager, and that has been you. But some people added she, her, or he, him in the name. So as big and bold as in this example from Rao, where he has their PMP, which comes from his project management side. But in the meantime, that's a new function that's very new. In order to work on and showcase diversity and inclusion, the idea is to set a welcoming community to all gender identities. Identities in that sense for those whatever they would like to show it. So that means initially it was on the name fields, but that was very difficult to tag people. So if I would like to tag someone like Con and I tag you in it, and it shows all the way with social selling warrior, I need to delete word by word. But here the he, him, she, her needed to be deleted as well. Now it became a completely new field that needs to be done. That came in March 2021, and therefore it shows in smaller brackets. Even there in the comment, as you can see there, the default values are she, her, he, his, and they, them. I saw people who put then something completely different on it, like us or whatever. Um, this is viewable only to the first grade connection or to everyone. You can set it as you wish. You can also leave it out. Most people might have it out. But as we have now the Pride weeks and many corporations change the logo with all of the colors, like I see in my profile, Hootsuite has it, HP has it, Deloitte has it, many companies. So that's a time when diversity and inclusion, of course, are important topics. So that is a new way, and it's also repeated in the comments what you can see. Then you know how to reply. It's even practical. For some words, for some names like Alex, it's not easy to know if it's an Alex she or an Alex he, or even Andrea, which in German is female, but in Italian it's male. So then it has some kind of good things on it. So that's new. You can see it more and more that people write that. And it's not necessarily only about themselves that they say, I'm a man, I must be he, but rather to be more included in others for those who this matters. It might not matter to everyone, but for those who does, it might be good. So that's new feature number one. The next one, the name pronunciation. That is a new field that came last year. And if you see here in the example of Sue Parker, Con, you might know her. She's from Melbourne, but has been in Brisbane, back in Melbourne. And you can see here the speaker symbol after her name. So that is basically a way how you can record your name. For those who have names which are not easy to pronounce, like mine, if it would be Gunnar or Gunnar as in North Sweden, or Gunnar as some people would say in England. So then it's good way to showcase this. But of course, we can also put a quick elevator pitch in the sense of I am Con, the social selling warrior, or whatever you have on there. But I know you use that feature. And it's an idea to show your voice to the public, that you are more than just a profile. That's a good idea. Most used by consultants, coaches, not necessarily by corporate employees, and it came back then in 2020. Interesting approach, but it only works on the mobile, not on the desktop. You can delete on the desktop, but not on the mobile. Um, yeah, well, you said if it's not think it's confusing, not easy to see. You mean this she and her? I know. I know it is confusing and I know it is small, but at least it's there for complementing. So the next one, the story and Con. Good to have you on there. So here we see Con Soteli's social selling warrior and he and him, and you have also the symbol. But there is one thing different. What you have an orange circle around, and that gives us the idea when we press on it that we have a 30-second video. When we click on it, then it showcases yourself, what you are talking. First, 3 seconds long, we review the profile, and then inside of this orange circle, a video starts. That we have a nice chance to provide a quick elevator pitch of 30 seconds that people know really what you are doing, what you are about, and so on. Good way to talk as a person. Here you can see you did not choose the same background, apparently, but it doesn't matter. It really shows you also as a sympathetic person as you are. Con, as you could please unmute yourself. What's the reaction of this one?
Yes, look, cover story is one of those things that you probably need to work on. I've got a principle with video that you probably I shoot from the hip, as in I like authenticity and I like genuine. So my one, if you go to my profile, you'll see that was only the second take. Other people use a video app and they polish it up and they'll edit it and I'll put subtitles below it. And maybe I will do that, and maybe I should do that if I'm going to be professional. But I felt like the first time I'm going to give it a go, be genuine, be authentic, and just tell people who I am and what I do, and that's what it is at the moment. The reaction has been good. I think people, like you said, they'll get to see you and get to hear your voice, but also get to see you, and that way, when they meet you face to face, they can relate to you a lot easier. That's my reaction.
That's good. That's fine. In the meantime, also welcoming Dick to the call, Myrene to the call. Hi everyone. This is not Zoom, it's something else. Cool. Thanks, Con, for this one. So that's a new feature. In particular, when it's not perfect, This is also a way that the world does not have to be perfect, but at least we can show how it is to work together. So that's good. And it's part of, and it comes in the fact of something new which LinkedIn called creator mode. So there the question, do you really would like to stand out and build loyal communities? And this creator mode gives us a couple of interesting things. So for all of those who like to regularly share content, to demonstrate expertise, and also to build networks. And many of you here on the call are actually doing this, but not many really know this mode because it is rather new. Since April about, it's easy to discover in the settings of the profile, and you can add topics, missing C, add 1 to 5 topics, let's say hashtags, what you're posting about, and which will be added below the headline. And that already makes it. So in your cons and in my headline, I can see all of these 5 hashtags I'm typically talking about. So, and we share some of them like social media, LinkedIn, social selling. So that's perfect. So that is the creator mode. And it actually also underlines the importance of hashtags, which is a good thing, which I really like that. So the creator mode has something else which is coming. And also the featured section, I talk about what that is, and the activities are now moving up a little bit because typically these are people who are talking, providing content now instead of having the corporate type of work experience there. So that's an important thing. So that's one moment. Marine, you are not muted. Just muted yourself. Okay. So that's the creator mode. And the creator mode is a very interesting one because it also is changing the connect button by default into follow. That's nice. Because why is this important? Many of us who are creating content have many people who would like to read it. They surely can follow, but not everyone should press the connect button because then the amount of invitations simply is too long. And invitations stay in there for about a year before they will be deleted automatically. So in early last year, I had about 700 of them. It would take me 25 hours to go through all of them if I only pay attention to watch everyone's profile. Changing this by putting the connect button into a follow by default has done it for me, but here the creator mode would do it automatically. That's a good thing. So here in the case of John Smybert, who is from the Sales Leader Forums, then he has here that he's talking about B2B sales, sales tips, sales process, sales strategy, and sales leadership. And he's also utilizing this. So that looks actually quite good. But compared to Con, for example, he doesn't have the gender there. He doesn't have the speaker symbol there. But anyway, everybody is a little bit different. But if you really would like to find a good example of someone who has well up-to-date modern profile, then if you look into sales coaches, they typically have that. Next one, when we already have the creator mode, and then we can also have a section below which talks about the services. So here is an example below, in the profile below the headline and these 5 hashtags. There's a section that this gentleman here, Teddy Bears, he is providing services like marketing consultant and so on. Only this colorful box. When we click on that, then we see a new page, and this new page is it's called services page, and that is part of the creator mode. It's like a completely new LinkedIn page, not a company page and not a profile, but something in the middle called services page. And you click on it, then we can see a little bit about him, and about section about his services, what he's doing. Some people write 3 or 4 lines, whatever, and then the typical services provided. This is LinkedIn's way, how it moves away from just CV corporate style into supporting coaches, consultants, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small businesses. Very good. Really like it a lot. So no need to scroll down in the long about section and experience to find out what a person is doing. And ideal for these people. So particularly for some of you on the today on the call, like for Bell, for Dick, for Margaret, for Con would be perfect. Con, you have it. So therefore, it's different things, and they have also their own URL. So that's an interesting one as well. You can bookmark it. So these are the 5 things which came fresh in last year and this year for the LinkedIn profile. So the question earlier, when did you last time update it? It's worth to give it a go. Particularly we are at the middle of this year or the end of the financial year. It's worth to spend some time, effort. If you need someone to help, Con and I am happily doing this. So
And there's some good questions coming through. You want to answer them now, or you want to wait till the end?
when it comes to the profile topics, you can ask now. When it comes to content or messaging, then later.
So I think your fellow participants have got some good questions in the chat.
Yeah, they can. Let me go back to the chat. If anyone wrote something in that creator page, Bear Bell, you asked if creator page on the profile dashboard. Yeah, the creator mode indeed is very, very important. And you can see you can take it from the profile and from the profile settings. Yeah, so that is open. It's not only for a few people. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Can you show that, Gunnar?
I will not show it just now because I'm showing on the.
No, not now, but later.
I'm happy to add it into later. Yeah, I could even add a picture or put a word on the particular slide on the creator mode. Yeah, I've done it easily by myself, so that's not a big thing. Yeah, a couple of questions for this. That's nice. So the next one, content. Let me go to content. Question: how often do you create your own content on LinkedIn? How often, in chat please, do you create own content on LinkedIn? Own means you write it, not only you find and share with nothing on it. 3 times per week. Daily, yeah. When I say 3 times per week, which of course not so fully true, because I sometimes take something that exists that I can forward, so to say, like the creating part, but the creating really from scratch to write something, which can still lead into an external piece that I do 3 times a week. Well, you do once a week, sometimes twice, yeah, and you have a nice consistency on that, and that's very good. Yeah, content drives conversations, who then can further convert. So without content, not much happening. So that's an important topic. So Bell, you wrote it. Margaret, you wrote it. Con, I know you share a lot and write a lot on it as well, which is good. So what comes now new over the last 1.5 years or so in terms of content? So the first of all, what I found are the LinkedIn stories, which came last year. Well, funny one, because they came first in Brazil, and then a couple of other countries have been country number 5, but in the meantime, others have it as well. And it used to be on the mobile phone at the top in the mobile app, but the difficulty there for me, it is wasted real estate. You know this from Instagram, from Facebook, is also there towards the top. In the meantime, it moved further to the bottom, which is good. So that's good. So it was the idea of Facebook. They announced it even early in February 2020 to figure out how they can leverage the same. It is 20 seconds long and valid for 24 hours, and then it's gone. So mixed adoption. So many people don't really like it. And the question: does any one of you is any one of you using this? Con, are you using this? You do. Yeah, you had these colorful.
Yes, not often. Probably about 3 times a week, not much.
Yeah, so I in the meantime, I got fan of the stories on Facebook, where I can use it for my affiliate marketing ideas. I wouldn't put it on LinkedIn, different audience. And what I realized from Facebook, where they're also valid for 24 hours, I put those stories automatically copied into Instagram. But it's a different audience with a different type of content I'm sharing on Instagram. Then they ask, what is this stuff that you're sharing? Looks like you got scammed, no? Or hacked, something like this. No, it's a different part of the personality. That's interesting. You need to pay attention. The beauty here is when we normally say that in LinkedIn posting, 80% of what we are doing is education. And 20% you can more talk about your products and services, but ideally how they help others, not necessarily buy me. The stories, particularly on Instagram and Facebook, they're the one who help selling, not the posts. So that's a good one here. So why LinkedIn stories? to create a more personal dialogue with the audience. It's not in the top anymore, as I mentioned. Then encourage thought leaders to give professional tips, share real-time event updates, and share brand announcements and product news. So that's the idea behind that. And even you can host a corporate Q&A, well, question answers on the corporate world, but I don't see that many corporate people in using the LinkedIn stories yet. So let's say mixed adoptions. But the next one I like, and that's the featured section. In the past, the summary, and it was called summary, not about, had the possibility to add rich media like pictures, like videos. That has been removed and replaced with the featured section in which you can take existing posts that you've had before or simply create a new one that you would like to give a longer life. So in my case, I put here a podcast that I've had, a guest podcast on the Digital First Leadership podcast with Richard Bliss, who has some 117,000 followers. I thought that's quite honorable to be featured on that one. I have that. And I have one of my book launches where I've been signing books. I thought that looks quite good on that one. So that's what I have. It's basically in a carousel, or we can put a couple of topics in there. So then the idea is to really show something which is important, not only current. So then here, these are the topics that I'm using. And it helps for the personal branding because you can really point to something that makes sense for you. The next one, and that is an important one. We always had the trouble in writing posts which sometimes became too long. We could do shorter ones, up to 1300 characters, which is actually about 200 words. Like the example here, which I wrote, it has 2 lines more, but a typical one takes me 10 minutes maybe to write these 200 words. And when I write them, I like to write them that I can utilize the characters which are available. They're basically one screen on my iPhone, not more. So that's the good thing on it. And the best way to write them is to have some people tagged or hashtags tagged because of the color that is adding blue and bold, and also to allow 3 lines. Like here where I have the points 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 3 lines in between. I could use and should use emojis, where in the emoji set are also numbers for 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks even nicer. But anyway, that's the normal one that we know, 1300 characters. And if you share a link to somewhere, let's say on Medium, the links on Medium are rather long, then of course it is 1300 minus this link. Gets deducted. So then the extension to 3,000 characters, which is totally new from June, July, which is about 500 words. And the idea is from LinkedIn to drive more meaningful content. That's a good idea. I like that. Bell, you asked if I show the numbers and emojis. No, I don't. For simple reason, it depends the hardware you're using. In the way where you type. When I'm typing in LinkedIn on the web in Chrome on my MacBook, then I can right click and there is a line which tells emojis, and then I can add the emojis. Same on the keyboard on the iPhone, same on Windows. There are ways in Android how you can add emojis. It depends on the device, not on LinkedIn and not even on Chrome. And then you simply pick one like a normal keyboard. So you also might know there are LinkedIn articles. These long format ones, they have better SEO, search engine optimization, and thought leadership perception because they still stand there, while these even longer articles don't. So that is always a tricky thing. But at least we don't have the limit anymore, which is good. So when we want to write longer, there's an alternative. And I need to ask Con, as the most experienced on the call overall, including myself. So are you using newsletters, Con? Do you have that?
Sadly, I don't. I've got everything else, Gunnar, but I haven't got newsletters. I'm really hanging out for this one. Got cover story, I've got creator mode, but I haven't got newsletters. So no, I don't. Do you?
No, not yet. But I would like first. I thought about what should I really write about. I would write about social media habits, as I would call it, maybe, and I talk it about the positive return on investment in using social media. But here's an example from Richard Bliss, the one who invited me for the Digital First Leadership podcast earlier this year, and he has 60,000 subscribers. He's publishing weekly. So that's nice. But I learned this first from business consultant in a BNI chapter in Sydney, an older gentleman, who I thought he was not so savvy on LinkedIn, but indeed he is. And he published monthly his newsletter about his business coaching industry, which is nice. So then here I got that offered that I can subscribe, and I like it because that's the way. It's a kind of a rejuvenation of the LinkedIn articles in form of a subscription. It also sits there in the LinkedIn articles as one article with all of the episodes behind. That's a good one. Whenever a new one comes out, I get notified, and that is good. So then this is the idea that is really is visible. Only randomly given to some members, for whatever way, I don't know yet. So hope that Con, you and I, that we will have it soon, because there is a desire for a richer platform content with guaranteed notifications being sent to interested readers, because typically that is not the case. If somebody is writing a new article, it's not necessarily announced to someone in the world. So that's a good one. I like that.
Gunnar, could you say about what you said just quickly about the postings, the additional 3,000 characters?
Yeah.
I did a bit of testing. I just want to share with the audience. I did a bit of testing recently where I did a blog post, which is a long form one, and I did postings. Now, you are right. The LinkedIn articles do remain better SEO. It's been 12 days, and I'm still getting 50% engagement on my long form post, e.g. blog, than I am on my normal posts on LinkedIn. Now, that's amazing figures.
That's
50%.
good. It shows.
I check my analytics on a daily basis. Today was 48 to 49% engagement on a blog post, which is not bad.
I like that. Good one. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
I think you're right there. You make a very good point. They do get more SEO, so well done there. Good point.
Oh, yeah.
We'll need to look at that.
May I ask a question, Con, about that? What you mean by a blog post as opposed to a normal one or an article? Could you just briefly describe that?
Yeah, my apologies. I call them a blog post. A blog. It's on a LinkedIn platform, but when you go to LinkedIn, you can actually click to what you want to post. You can do a post, you can do a poll, you can do an article. So that's where you do an article. I call it used to be called blogging on LinkedIn. Now they call it article. Used to call it the polls platform. But as opposed to just posting like what Gunnar's shown there, if you do all that and put it into an article, the SEO and the longevity of it will be a lot longer.
Yeah, that's a good one. So anyway, comment, post, not article. Article is really the long one, which sits differently. LinkedIn itself calls a post an article. And inside a post, there are various ways what you can do with them. And one newer version, by the way, you ask what is the purpose of the newsletter. That's simple. To get always in front of the readers with something new. So for example, in the case of Richard Bliss, who's a social selling expert and trainer for a C-level and leadership in corporate America. So for him, it's perfect that everything what he's writing, like every email newsletter, gets in front of the right people. So that's perfect. I like that. That's a very good idea. And also, as he has a podcast, he can put the podcast in, and as a consequence of this, he gets business. Because the right level of people read what he's doing, and it costs nothing. That's perfect. Next one are polls. So here's one example. Last year, what's your number one content preference on LinkedIn? Where Sue Parker wanted to know text or articles, that we have these two different ones, and video or audio only. So that's an interesting one. So today, maybe the audio one could be a little bit higher with the introduction of Clubhouse, but at least the video was not very, very strong. So this means the idea is to gain feedback and sentiments on interesting topics, an opinion with only a few choices, I think 4 of them. It's running for 1 week only. Users can change their opinion before it's ending. That's interesting. So if you see a trend is the right person who is posting this, it could be that people are changing their opinion depending how it goes. So that's possible. But I would not be able to see what someone else is putting out there. So as participants, so that does not do. But of course, you can have a fourth option which says others, please write in comments, and that's the way how you can get comments. So in this case, you can also transport it with the post itself, which is good. So then that's what Supaka has been doing. She added a post in advance why she's doing this, and she entices people to also add some comments. And you can see 75 likes, or let's say reactions, 124 comments, and 509 votes, which I think was quite good. Like that. So these are the 5 areas what came new, which is the stories, the featured, the post increase, which is brand new, then the newsletter, and the polls. Any questions? Polls, Con, you said it's a fastest growing content type on LinkedIn. Yes, and also documents, shared documents, but I'm happy that it's not, we don't see them all over. So that's good. So next one out of 3 topics is messaging. And I just created and finished the slides for messaging just before the call. I hope they work. Question in the chat. Did you use video messages to communicate in LinkedIn? Con, you're a master. For all you connections, you do this. Question to you. Do you use them personalized or the same one?
Each one is personalized using Vidyard.
Personalized in the sense of, imagine that Olin would, now as he sees you both here together in the call, Olin would reach out to you on LinkedIn, would try to connect with you. Would you create a video message and say, hi, Olin, nice to have you in my network?
Yeah. So Vidyard integrates with your messages on LinkedIn. It's got a Chrome extension integrates. So as soon as you go into messages, the little Vidyard icon is on the bottom. You click on that. Hi, Oliard, how are you? Thank you for the connection. Really appreciate it. I hope we learn together. I'm really excited to have you on board in my network. Talk soon. Done. Send it straight away. That's why I don't do automation. Automation I stay away from.
Which one do you stay away from?
Or any automation. I never automate anything.
No, because you are a human. You're not an You're not an.
We know you and me. We know people who do it. So anyway,
we don't like it. We agree on that one. So thanks for this one. And some people like to use video because they also have certain confidence, which also has confidence barriers in it. Not to forget about that. Not everyone is happy to speak in a foreign language, but at least Con and I, we try to speak some English that is understood. I like it because at the end, what you're doing to do this personalized, to say, hi, Olin, nice to welcome you to my network, it's actually faster than typing. It's a good idea and very personalized. I like that. So it's a good idea. So we can use it also to send an introduction to all members, person by person. That's quite a big bit of work. So that's good. Yeah. So, but at least was an idea to ask. So 5 ways what is new on messaging, and one of them is actually old, but I added it on purpose. So first of all, what's new is the away or out of office message. We know this from any typical email client. And for me, this is the first step towards a meaningful usage of the inbox, all of the messages together. So that's a nice one. Here you can see an example which I've been taken from the official LinkedIn help, where you can see how to switch that on, but this is only for LinkedIn Premium users, not for standardized users. So then at least something when you pay already that you get for that one. And I found this today when I wanted to write it, wanted to find an example, and I wrote with sent a birthday wish to Bryn Tillman. She's also a social selling expert in the US, and immediately came back her out of office, like in this example, and an enticing link, what I should look in the meantime until she's back. And there was access to her online course. It's a good way to say, thank you, I'm not there, but please look this one. Like that a lot. Was a good one. Can put everything, collaterals, any material, any call to action inside, whatever you wish, on LinkedIn. Good one. But sorry, too fast. And it's a good idea, particularly if you would like to do some LinkedIn detox. Because there are some companies sometimes who then say might be good also that the employees would switch off, which is difficult, as we know. In my example, in the first week of July, my company Hootsuite does that. So then we will be off. The whole company, all 1,100 plus employees will be off. So then let's see what I do on LinkedIn. I could use the same. I could schedule all posts, but I can also simply let it be. So that's the out of office. Good idea, actually. I like it. Next one. Edit and delete and reactions that came also last year, piece by piece. So here's an example. Con and I, we wrote yesterday evening. So that was good. And when I write something, and I wrote this to you, Con, before the call, and you can see I had a typo. Looking forward to welcoming, and there was a typo in it. Then I can hover on the post, only over this. Bit like in WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, but a big difference because it only goes when the message is not read. So then, Con, you didn't see it. I immediately saw I made a mistake. I pressed on the 3 little dots which appeared when I hovered over it, and I could forward and share, but also delete and edit. So then I edited, and the message stays there, including in bracket edited. So that's the way how that works. It's good, but there's no chance to delete it completely after the person read the message. And when you use messaging not only with one person but with more, like a mini group, so to say, then it means even, as soon first person saw it, you cannot delete it anymore. Bad luck. But at least it's a first step of changing something, particularly when it comes to typos, because they're not so nice. There's something else in this when you already are on the point. So there's also reactions inside the messages, not only that you like a post, but also here, and there's 5 of them given. And then when you click on this black and white smiley, then if memory serves me well, you get more. So there's no need to find emojis. Then you have the typical ones like clapping hands or thumb up and down and some kind of face expression already. The only thing we cannot change the skin color of this one, the skin tone. That doesn't work here, while in normal emojis it is there. But anyway, I think if you click on this black and white smiley, there might be others where you can then choose from. But at least it's a chance to get a quick reaction, which also shows that the LinkedIn messaging is less formal than email, but it's still professional. And that, I think, is a good balance. So then, Bell, you asked, does LinkedIn allow for editing to change message? Yes, when the other person didn't read it. Therefore, I put it here, in particular in the color, as you can see. LinkedIn allows editing and deleting of unread messages. As soon as the other person read it, no chance to change it anymore. That makes sense. Yeah. So then next one, voice messages, because there was also something about it. Voice message.
Well, no, sorry to interrupt you. On that note, can you show us that, or is it not possible? What you just showed us now about how before they do unread, that you can edit it, because I know how to do it in WhatsApp, but can you show us that?
I will need to have
Please.
in LinkedIn first. One moment.
Because you've given a huge amount of content tonight, and we're not all techno freaks like you, and there's a lot to take in. Sorry.
The learning is different from each and every one. So therefore, the slides will help to locate it.
Thank you.
So I try one thing. Can you see that I put my LinkedIn on there? Or do you still see PowerPoint? sorry, no, you don't see it yet. One moment. Let me change that. Can you see that I put my Chrome browser in front of that? Well,
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yep.
okay,
Yes, thank
perfect.
you.
So here, if I hover over this one, normally I hover over a little bit, it turns gray. I see the symbols. Here I have access to more, the whole range of all emojis on the planet, so to say. Nice ones as we know them, like this one, I love a lot, and so on. But the point being, the three little dots, they only allow forward and share because Con already saw this. When I then say thanks for your input to today's session, then he didn't see it yet because he's not watching, then I have delete and edit. You can say hedge, you will not see it, delete. Thanks for joining. You see that the note that there was a deleted message still stays there. So that's how that works. Make sense?
Your screen.
Yeah, put it away, yes, because I would like to continue. But that's the way how that goes. Move over it, hover over it, and then you can see it. That's easy. So what else do we have? There are still 3 topics to go and 8 minutes. The next one, voice messages. You wrote about it, Con and Bell. So on the mobile version and only there, when you go, instead of writing a message, there's a symbol on the right-hand side with this microphone. You click on it, then it's getting half of the screen of the app shows this hold to record, the blue button. You press on it, and then you have that, and then you can talk for like in regular voicemail. The only thing, it is for 60 seconds. You need to hold the record button during the whole message. If you continue speaking over 60 seconds, then immediately it will release after 60 seconds and stop. So here's an example of what I've done. You see on the slide, which was Duncan Fish and myself, actually in August 2018, 3 years ago. And still, I feel that most people don't know it yet. It's quite nice. I like it a lot. It's like you can do on WhatsApp, on Messenger, and so on. But here it is in LinkedIn on the proper context. You can also put it and connect it somehow with content. So 60 seconds only, and it's not automatically splitting. So that unfortunately it doesn't do, which is a pity. So then you need to restart after nearly a minute, and then you start again, and so on. That's how that would work. But it's nice. I like it a lot. I use it. And in this case here, even I wanted Duncan Fish to give me statements about his book that then I wanted to write as answers for a book review. Yeah. So that is the voicemails. So it's good to use them for those people who are used to use voicemail on WhatsApp, like Bell, which is your case. So you can use it here, but 60 seconds only. So follow the KISS formula, which means keep it simple and stupid. And at the end, it looks like a blue box, which is also quite disruptive. If you scroll through your inbox, see what people say, that it makes curious what is behind. But that is just voice. And after voice, it gets further into video messaging. So then how to simulate working together? Again, you go to the mobile app. On the mobile app, you have on the left-hand side from the write a message box, you have a plus symbol. If you press that, then you have 6 further options, maybe in the future more. You can add an attachment, you can add pictures, for most people know how to do this. But you can also add a video. And if you do that, adding a video, then you can showcase the real you. You can do this also only on the mobile app, otherwise it doesn't do. And you do not need to hold it the whole time. You start the recording, one click, you talk, and then you stop it. So that's a bit easier in that sense. And the maximum recording time is 2 minutes. If you don't press stop, you run it over 2 minutes, then it stops automatically. And then you have a 2-minute video message, and that should be enough. So that's basically, Con, what you said also, how you would be able to do this type of welcome to a person if you don't use Vidya. So sorry. So that's the video messaging. I like it. Most people don't know that. And it's a good way in the professional context to add some kind of context. I learned one thing on what is bad in professional sales. When sales reps would like to simply ask the customer where's the order, but they do not want to call it this way, then they simply try to reach out on email or phone call or LinkedIn, and they say they would like to check in or touch base, these type of typical words in English, which always means for the end customer, the sales rep is pressing. And for the sales rep, it means, customer, when can you please decide? Would be so much better to provide value instead and say, dear customer, on what we discussed, here is a customer case story, or here's another one who had a similar topic which is solved this way or whatever. And then video can help as well. So basically create pull marketing so that the customer had the only chance to then order, but he also would like to have it. Therefore, video can help a lot. And the last one I would like to share to you, number 15 for today, that are video meetings. So same thing on the mobile app only, the same bar that we've had beforehand. We looked about the field write a message. Right hand side is a microphone. We have done that. On the left hand side, the plus sign, we have done that. But there is this other camera which has plus in itself. When we click on that one, then we get a new menu, and that is called video meeting. So if you would like to do an ad hoc video meeting with more people, we could use maybe Zoom normally or whatever, Skype. All in you and I, we use Skype. Some others, they use whatever they use. So then here the idea from LinkedIn is to say, if a company has something like Zoom or Teams for Microsoft, or even here BlueJeans, which I have installed here, so that's the way how I talk to Adobe, then that can be done in LinkedIn as well. Ideally, it goes well not only for 2 people, but also as a messaging group for more people. Interesting way, but it requires the system to be installed beforehand. So you can see the messaging function in LinkedIn also got the upgrades, video messaging, video meetings, the voice messaging, which is older but still not too well known, edit, delete reactions, and also the out of office. So overall, I showed you 15 ways how LinkedIn had some use over the last 1.5 years, and one older one, that most people don't use. Here it's all about how you can stand out. Many of them allow that. You can surprise people by this nicely. Particular video message inside of LinkedIn can be a big surprise for many people, and a positive one. So that's a good one. So that's what I like. So what I would like to do is I will share the slides exactly as they are to you after the call. You receive them automatically by email if you subscribed to that. Next morning at 7 p.m. I put it on my YouTube channel, the recording, and also on in the email as well, so that you have this. Because testing it for yourself doesn't go simply by attending a call. It requires a bit more. So therefore, utilize it. So I wrote it, took some time to put it all together and test it, but it makes sense. And as many of you know, I really enjoy all of that one. And I can also help with a couple of other things for that. So in the meantime, let me check further question. Bell, you asked, what is BlueJeans? Another service of video conference software. There's so many. So we use Google Meet, then we know Zoom, then Skype, Microsoft Teams. There is BlueJeans, there is GoToWebinar, plenty of other ones. Yeah, so I'm not that fan of BlueJeans in that sense, but anyway. Yeah, and yeah, Bell, I know there's a lot to learn about this one, but for me, the idea was to give an overview. You get the material and then you play it by yourself, and everybody learns differently. Therefore, the overview is what makes most sense. When you would like to talk more individually to figure out how I can help, so that typically how I do this is in a couple of steps. First of one would be a discovery call or meeting to figure out how I can help on LinkedIn profile, for example, what we can do. The next one is I can help also to refresh this. Particularly so much more what today is possible compared to the past. And I have my online course and membership program. By the way, Con, I would like to show this to you as well. There's a lot in it as well. These are the three things what I'm basically doing. And these webinar help also for many of you to figure out that there actually is something what you can do in order to move forward. So I call my online course, I call it Organic LinkedIn Habits. I strongly believe in organic, not necessarily in paid content and not at all in automation, not at all. So therefore it's more about my online course, which has 4 modules. Overall, in the meantime, 16 lessons. And we talk for the participants in a closed group, and also I run my coaching calls every now and then, typically on the 4th Monday. The online course itself is covering 4 topics. The challenge of what we would like to do on LinkedIn, because for many it still is one. We would like to make it complete. And then we go and connect properly. And Con, you had good examples. How do you do this in a sustainable way? Then about the content, that is a part of my big passion, how we can comment this style, curate content from others that it looks like your own, and then also create your own content. And then at the end, we do it for one reason. We would like to advance our business conversations using LinkedIn. So that's how we then convert. Those of you who know me, then you realize that's the reason that I love the same letters, 4 times C, actually 5 times. Convert has 3 times E, content has 3 times C. It simply happens. Love that. And how I can help is typically 3 things. On one side, it is the online course itself, 97 in the normal version, and 247 when it comes to ordering also a one-on-one mentoring with me. And that is for 1 month. If you need longer, then you pay longer. And for many of you, it might be required also to work a bit on the profile. I can help for this one as well. So that's basically what I'm doing. I also have my Organic LinkedIn community, my Facebook group, where I'm now putting more effort again in it and share more content there as well. Already 600 members. So that's all what I prepared for today. The hour is about over. Any more questions? Belle, I think we have a one-on-one coaching session anyway, schedule that we can go through some of the material. So that's a good one. Then you can see there's so much more what you can learn and what we can do. So anyone else with a question here? Maybe something from Dick, as you're a LinkedIn user, heavy one as well. Margaret, Elena, anything else from any of you? So I can. I think you would want to unmute if you want to. So that's good. Thanks for your lines, Belle, and also from Margaret. That's very kind. That's good. Yeah, there's so much in it in LinkedIn, what we all don't know yet, but I'm always happy to discover this and also see that Con is also one of those examples.
Thanks, kind of very well explained, mate. Thank you very much. It was really good. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. So then looking forward how I can get the recording out of this new system called Whereby, and then I will post it accordingly. Yeah, thanks, Olin, for joining as well. So that's very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gunnar.